Hey guys, how you doing? It's Voodoo here and welcome to episode 32 in my Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Emblem Editor series. Today we're taking a look at the Grim Reaper logo and it looks absolutely awesome. I did make a Grim Reaper logo in Black Ops 1. I've gone for a more cartoony look on this one and it looks absolutely awesome. So pleased with the way it's come out. One of my favourites for sure. I know I say that on quite a lot of my emblems, but this one really is. It came out so well. I was really pleased with the finished product. So hopefully you guys are going to be happy with it. A lot of you guys have been asking for a Grim Reaper logo, so here it is. As I said, it looks awesome on the player card. Here's some of my previous emblems: Machinima, Nos, Xbox, Volcom, Feed Me, Alpinestars, DC, Chemblock and Monster, and we're going to get down to business. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a tongue to start with, and then you're going to free scale that, get that just about right. Bring it just above the center line on the grid system, and then you want to turn that a shade of grey. Obviously all the colours are for your interpretation, do whatever you want, that's what you need to do. Then you want to grab another tongue, copy and paste it, and then you can use that for the sort of, this is the beginning of the hood. So I've turned it black and laid it in over the top of the other one. Then what I've done is grabbed another tongue, or copy and pasted that across, free scaled it. Now I'm going to free scale it quite different to that shape in a moment. I sort of make it more squashed and flat, but obviously as you're going along, this is a slightly tricky one because of the sheer amount of free scaling. But obviously at any time you need to see what I've done, pause it, rewind it, do whatever you want, and that'll be very easy for you to replicate this without too much trouble. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, I'm squashing that tongue, squashing it down to make it look like a rounded sort of hood effect, and the same again with the grey sort of outline on there. So it just sort of adds a little bit. If you put another tongue grey underneath, it just adds a little bit to it. So then what I've grabbed is, I've grabbed a pyramid, and I've free scaled that down, sort of made it squashed. That's really going to be like the elbow, where the elbow of the guy's arm, the Grim Reaper's arm, is. And then I've grabbed some of these hair things. Now this one is the half long hair, and I had to start with, I had the long pointy bit towards the middle, and near the end of the image I swapped them over, so the long pointy bit is to the outside of the emblem. I then grabbed a tube, free scaled that down to sort of fill in the gap on the body, and it also gives a little bit of a curve to the left hand side of the cloak. And once you've faffed and farted about getting it just right, it looks absolutely spot on. But also, one thing I will say, guys, if you like this image, please hit the like button. It does really help and spurs me on to make more cool logos. So please, please, please hit the like button if you enjoy it. Anyway, what I grab now is I grab another tongue, and we're going to sort of free scale that down nice and narrow. That's going to be the sort of hole to the arm of his cloak. His hand's going to come out of there. Just free scale that nice and sort of like elongated, so it looks really cool, like a hanging cloak. Grab yourself a curved line, and this is going to sort of make the arm of the end of the cloak, sort of a bit of detailing in there. That all becomes clear towards the end, but it's very straightforward. Grab that and then copy and paste and add another one to it. We are going to have a little bit of a shuffle about here. Obviously once you get everything in the right place, you can then sort of move things around, so it's not too bad. Just sort of like play it by ear, move things about, and then get it there or thereabouts, and at the end you can just tweak everything just to get it just right. So we grabbed another tongue, putting that over towards the right, and then free scaling that down. I'm pretty sure we get rid of this curved line on the right hand side. I don't really like that, but again, all these things are for interpretation. You guys can sort of change it however you wish. But anyway, so the next thing we're going to need is we're going to grab a half circle, and you want to outline that. Just give it a sort of, just press, I think that's the back button when you got your thing up, and that then will outline the image, and put that over the tongue on the right hand side. There you go, the curved line's gone. That way it's sort of like the end of his cloak, that side. So that will all get covered up when we put the scythe in, which is what we're going to do. Now I've used a shock charge here for this. Now the way you get this shock charge is shock an enemy and then finish them off with your knife. Very easy to do. I'm sure most of you guys have got it, and if you haven't, you can use anything else, but the shock charge just looked just right. It sort of had a little bit rough around the edges when you elongate it. So you can see there I'm just tweaking the sleeve on the left hand side there, just getting it exactly right, moving them around, and that's exactly what I said. You just got to shuffle it about just to get it to look just right. So then we've grabbed a flag breeze and we've put it down, sort of free scale that down. That's going to be the end of the scythe, and turned that a sort of lighter shade of grey, because obviously it's got to be silvery for a scythe. And then what we've done here is we've grabbed a flag no wind, and we're using that as the end of the scythe, the other end. And then in the middle we're going to use a couple of curved lines, free scaled, just to join the two up, and that way it then looks absolutely spot on. The scythe is coming on. You use two curved lines just to make the centerpiece of the scythe, so you need to copy and paste that across. Now obviously you can change all the colors, you can adjust things however you want, but obviously the Grim Reaper is a fairly sort of standard thing. There aren't many colours. I don't think he'd look too good in pink. But anyway, also obviously in my playlist there's another 31 other episodes. Please check them out. Feel free to give me any suggestions. I've got a long list at the moment, but also check the playlist before you give me any suggestions, because there's a lot of ones I've already done. So what we're doing is we grab the curved line and we're sort of free scanning that down, and that's sort of making a sort of a bit of detailing on the scythe, sort of as an edging on the scythe. And the same at the other end, free scale the curved line just a little bit smaller, and that then looks like a nice little bit of detail, and it gives you sort of triangle look on the scythe. Now what I've done here is I've grabbed a scribble and we've made that really small and sort of rotated it slightly, and that looks like a pair of cool sort of blurry eyes, and that's what I like about that. And then for the hands I've used a merciless, which is get a merciless medal in a team deathmatch, which is 10 kills without dying. Very straightforward. Sort of free scale that, and just that looks like a hand. He sort of got jaggedy hands, so that comes out really well. So then grab the curved line, and we're now doing some detailing on the sleeve of his cloak, and we just put that over the top. That makes obviously the top of his gown look like it's hanging on his hand. Here you can see I've swapped over the hair things at the bottom, and it looks a lot better. I don't know why I had them the other way around in the first place, but nevertheless I sorted that out towards the end. But anyway, so what you're going to grab now is you're going to grab yourself another curved line, and we're going to sling that on, well, it's going to go underneath the scythe, so bring it down the layer list, and we're just going to lay that in there, and that's now going to be a bit of detailing underneath, like for his sleeve sort of thing. And I dropped the opacity down on that, and the opacity was set down to 31%. So then I copy and paste that curved line, and we lay that down coming off the sleeve in a slightly different direction. That way it gives another sort of different creasy sort of effect. That's what we want the cloak to look all creased up, and it looks really cool. So next I just drop the opacity on his left hand, or his right hand sleeve if you're him, and I put the them bits down to 43%. So that way it just makes the shading look a little bit different. You want it all to be a little bit different, a little bit fluid, so it's not all exactly the same. So then just for an extra bit of detail on the creases, we add some smile outlines, and the bottom one I've got the opacity at 53. The one in the middle is at 66 opacity, and then the one that I put right at the top at the end, you'll see that in a moment, I set that opacity down a little bit further even more, and that is at 28%. But what we're going to do is we grab a curved line, free scale that up, put that at the top of the scythe just to add a little bit of a point to his to the side, just a little bit more detail, and I'll add that top crease on his cloak in a moment. So I was toying with the idea of putting a sort of a skull on his on the scythe, but I couldn't get it to look right. It just didn't look right, so I added for a little bit of detail. So like I say, all these creases on the cloak, you can sort of make them your own sort of level of opacity, whatever looks good, but I've done it this way and I'm pleased with exactly how that's come out. That's the end of the image, guys. Thanks ever so much for watching. I think it looks absolutely awesome. Please don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe if you want to see more beast emblems. Also check me out on Facebook and Twitter, that way when the sub boxes are screwed up you can never miss my videos. But as always, thanks for watching and I shall see you later.